Mr. Coppola.
Here.
Ms. Ullman. Here. Mr. Terrell.
Here.
Mr. Purdy.
Here.
On January 4th, 2012, notice of the meeting was mailed to the Mainland Journal, the Press, and the Current, and duly posted in council chambers.
Thank you. For tonight's moment of silence, I would just like to thank the men and women that protect Galloway Township and the surrounding areas, the professionalism for everybody, their families, and also the people that travel through Galloway and work in Galloway every day. Thank you. Councilman Baxter, please lead us in flag salute.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Approval of minutes. Closed session as to content only for May 8, 2012, and regular meeting May 8, 2012. I need a motion and a second.
Motion. Second. Roll call.
Mr. Bassford.
Yes.
Mr. Foreman.
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner.
Yes.
Mr. Coppola.
Yes.
Ms. Ullman. Yes. Mr. Terrell.
Yes.
Mr. Purdy.
Yes.
Proclamations.
Tonight we have proclamations. We'd like to first have up the Chief of Police, Patrick Grant. Chief Grant. This is a proclamation to the law enforcement officers of the state, the front lines of daily, risking their lives to ensure that each citizen can live in a safe and secure environment. Whereas law enforcement officers work in a partnership with their community to protect life and property, solve neighborhood problems, and enhance the quality of life in the state and in Galloway Township. Whereas the law enforcement officers here, the public can trust, debate themselves to the protection of the safety and the rights of the citizens of the state. Whereas the second week of May, dedicated to the law enforcement officers by the United States Congress and National Police Memorial Week, in honor of all officers that give the ultimate sacrifice in the line of duty. Whereas I, Don Curry, Mayor of Galloway Township, hereby proclaim this week, May 13th through May 19th, as law enforcement chief.
Here, the police unity tour of Galloway Township and several officers go to Washington, D.C. to recognize Police Week, and recognize the fallen officers throughout the country. They are geared more towards the incidents that occur locally. And just would like to say congratulations to them and thank them for doing everything. Locally, our police department here, I'd also like to recognize the outstanding job they've done. I think everybody here recognizes that, as times move on, our economy is really taking things up. And, as our resources are shrinking, calls for service are increasing, your local police department is out there every night, every day, doing what they can, and making a difference. Thank you.
We give the chief the honors of this. Officer Rodney Calimer, please come up.
Actually, retired officer, Rodney Calimer. This is presented to Rodney recognition of 18 years dedicated service. He started in January of 1994. Officer Calimer served in various roles throughout our department. He's been a well-respected officer within the community. Everybody knows him. He was a school resource officer. Unfortunately, You know, in the spirit of Police Recognition Week, or Recognizing Police Week, Officer Calimer, unfortunately, retiring a little bit earlier than we would like him to. But we thank him for his service, and he's an example of what our officers go through every day. They put their lives, they put their well-being on the line, and try to make sure that our citizens stay safe. Thank you.
Rodney Calimer is also one of our firemen in Galloway Township, and through his years of service and dedication he's done through EMS, Fire Department, and also as a police officer in Galloway Township. He is a huge father figure to his children, also the kids in the school. Rodney was involved in the COSAP program in Galloway Township. He was also part of the school program, and a lot of kids that grew up and are police officers in other municipalities thank her for coming to Rodney here. So Rodney, I want to thank you for everything you do, just not as a police officer, fireman, EMS. You've been around a long time in Galloway. I want to thank you.
You've also been an integral part of our program.
Thank you. Thank you. Kevin McGettigan, please come up. Kevin is our Director of Public Works here in Galloway Township. Long employee of Galloway Township, works himself up the ranks from the bottom to the top, and he's doing a great job. And it's also Public Safety Week last week, and 2 weeks ago, and Kevin was out, so we wanted to take this time to give him his time to shine. Unfortunately, the plaque is not in my disposal at this time. But I can get this off the hip because I know the Public Works Department very well, and I know their day-to-day operation. And, you know, when you have storms that go out from snow to wind, hurricanes, it doesn't matter what is going on. When you are nestled in your house and you hear the wind whipping and the snow pouring down or the rain pouring and the drains are clogged, it's Kevin and his crew that are out there day to day, night to night, giving their time to make sure that Galloway Township residents are accustomed to the well-being and the streets. And I just want to thank you for that. We have luckily an easy winter this year, but last winter it was really bad, and we didn't have the trees down, and you had a crew out there 24 hours a day. And you know, you're one of the unsung heroes because a lot of people don't see what Public Works does at its worst, because they're obviously in the house when there's state of emergencies and stuff like that. So Kevin, I really want to thank you and your group for everything we do to make Galloway Township safe and the streets a good place for us to travel. Thank you.
I want to thank the council and mayor and the new township manager, Art Sulieman, for their continued support with Public Works. I realize, like the chief said, we're going through some tough times right now. But again, our guys are out there. They do give 110%. I just want everybody to remember that we're doing the best we can with what we have. And you've heard the mayor say many times with bare bones. And we're there for you. And it's a pleasure working here, and I enjoy it 100%.
Good to have you. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is also emergency medical services, a vital public service, and it is their week also here in Galloway Township and through the state. The members of the emergency medical service team are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery to rates who experience sudden illness or injury. The emergency medical service systems consist of emergency physicians, emergency nurses, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, firefighters, educators, administrators, and others. Members of the emergency medical service team, whether career or volunteer, encourage and engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education for the following life-saving skills: And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services provided, designed, and designated by Emergency Medical Service Week. Therefore, I, Don Purdy, Mayor of Galloway Township, do hereby proclaim May 20th to 26th, 2012, Medical Emergency. Thank you, Chairman.
EMS week for us, for those of you guys that are here and that are in the field, if you guys want to just take a stand up real quick and be recognized. These are the men and women. These are the men and women that are out there every day, you know, on the streets, providing the care that we provide, and the township should be very proud of them because they are proud to come to work every day and protect our streets. So thank you guys very much.
Thank you. And you know, as we said, it's more than just the people that are here tonight. It's their families also. It's the people that teach them to know them to do what they do. And you know, when we need them, it's never at our best times. And they do perform over and beyond, and you will hear that very shortly from the Chief. Chief, I'm going to give this to you.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'd like to recognize Chief Moran and have Chief Moran come up here and present some of these awards or certificates to my guys. On March 29th, Galloway Township experienced a school bus accident where a school bus that was leaving Willard Smithville schools. On that day, it was a very quick response. Luckily, the kids were minor in nature. They didn't experience any major life-threatening injuries. But regardless of that, it's very chaotic, and we had a lot of parents and teachers and school members on location. I'm going to recognize in a few minutes some of my men and women that were there that day. But I do want to recognize and say thank you to Chief Moran and to the police officers who were there that day. You know, everybody kind of thinks of the police officers as this force that, you know, secures everything. And certainly that's absolutely what they did that day. But there were police officers that day consoling little kids, and they really went above and beyond their duty. So I just want to say thank you, and we really appreciate all the relationship that we have with you from the ambulance squad to the police department. So thank you.
Right back at you, Joe. We have a very good working relationship with our EMS system here with the police department. Special thanks goes out to Squad 2, Sergeant Barber, whose squad was working that day. The entire squad was there. Captain Kane, Lieutenant Doyle were also on location along with Lieutenant Duerer. So we have the mentality in our police department, we're all police officers first. When an incident like that occurs, everybody goes down. No one's the administrator, no one's just behind the desk. At that point, we know that there's problems or issues, we go out and we handle it. And it's a perfect example of how well we work with the EMS. It was a very smooth running team. A lot of stuff going on, but it had all involved. Thanks, Charlie.
All right, I'm going to call up the EMTs that were present that day for the certificate. EMT, actually, Lieutenant Chris Snell. FTO Tom Brentz. Collins. EMT Felony Group. You know, I can't say enough about our emergency services here in town. That day, the fire department, Galloway Township Fire Department, was dispatched to assist us out there, along with a multitude of other towns and county-based agencies that came out there, Atlantic County, FC. Our entire surrounding community just really came out that day to help us out. We had ambulances from Ocean County down here. So whenever something like that happens, there is a plan. We do activate that plan, and we seem to do it pretty well here in Atlantic County. So for our residents, that should definitely be a safety point. We do it pretty well down here. And these guys are what makes it happen. So thank you very much.
Chief, I just wanted to mention one other thing. A lot of people were mentioned up here of the service that they did on that day. I was there myself. This guy coordinated the whole thing. You know, Chief Chuck was there coordinating the meeting. It almost looked like something from a TV show. They have all their stuff laid out, and the municipalities, the shared services. I mean, there's EMS out there from the airport. There was EMS out there from Atlantic City. I've seen them from everywhere. And the way that the chief jumped in with the emergency management from the county was second to none. And I want everybody in Galloway Council to realize what your lives are in. They're perfect hands. And Chief, I really want to thank you yourself and your whole team.
All right, the next presentation that we would like to do, I'd like to invite Maureen and her family to come up here. On March 10th, 2012, we were dispatched to McGettigan's 19 hole in Galloway Township for a reported unconscious person. Upon the Galloway Township Police Department's arrival, they found a female, Maureen, who had suffered a cardiac arrest. Her heart was not beating and she was not breathing. Immediately, the police officers, Corporal Henderson, Patrolman Buckley, and Patrolman Snuffer, attached the automated external defibrillator to Maureen. Our crew arrived there shortly afterwards, and she was successfully resuscitated. These incidents are absolutely important to recognize. The importance to learn CPR and to have AEDs on the street. It's so important. It's so important. I'm going to talk in a few minutes about the importance of having police AEDs. First, I invite you to you were there to kind of.
I wanted to personally thank the EMTs of Galloway and the police officers. I would be sitting here today without you. And the importance of the AEDs and having the right equipment and the trained staff is very important, and we're full support of the upgrades to this equipment. And as you can see, positive right equipment and the right trained staff, positive results will happen. And I really am fortunate, and I really appreciate everything.
I'd like to call up. I'd like to call EMT Kane and EMT Shane Leaning to present them with their CPR states in the morning. with that being said, defibrillation is absolutely an important tool that we have out in the field. Our stations here in Galloway are over on Carton Avenue on the western end, and here we have a station with an ambulance staff. But often the heroes of early defibrillation are police officers. I'd like to call up Sergeant Joe McCarty. Sergeant McCarty is going to give you a little history of the Galloway Township Police Defibrillation Program.
Thank you, Chief. So real quick understanding of what the defibrillator does. Of course, you all know about CPR, but what they found is a person in cardiac arrest is often in cardiac arrest due to an abnormal heart rhythm called ventricular fibrillation. And when you combine CPR with an electrical shock from a defibrillator or AED, it can actually increase the chances of survival for those in cardiac arrest. What they found over the years is oftentimes EMS, although they get there quickly, not always quickly enough. Police officers carrying AEDs, because we are deployed in more areas of the township than EMS, we can often get to the call quicker than EMS. And how our system works here in Galloway is when there's a serious medical emergency, such as a cardiac, respiratory, or trauma-related emergency, that the police officer, or more than one police officer, will be dispatched along with EMS. And sometimes we do arrive quicker than EMS, and we can start treatment prior to the ambulance even arriving. Our program with police carrying AEDs began Galloway Township back in 1995. And I want to echo what Chief Moran said. We've always had great relationships with the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad. Stretching back to 1995, when they donated 2 AEDs to the police department so we could carry it in our patrol cars. At that time, you had to be EMT certified to carry a defibrillator. One of those 2 EMTs at the time was retired Rodney Calimer in the back, and I want to recognize him for being on the ground floor of police defibrillation programs in Galloway. We're actually one of the first departments in the entire state to carry a defibrillator. And I want to recognize Officer Calimer as being one of those officers. Over the years, we have saved quite a few people using our defibrillators, and our defibrillators that we have now are reaching their the end of their service life. So working in conjunction with the ambulance squad, which we'll discuss further in a moment, in time we replace those defibrillators, and we're going to be reaching out to the community, our business leaders, and our residents to assist us in purchasing new AEDs so we can serve the public that we have since 1995. Thank you very much.
So with that being said, today the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad is announcing an aggressive campaign to place AEDs inside of the police patrol cars and replace the aging AEDs. And to do that, we're going to kick off by presenting one right now. I'd like to call up Kim Quill and Roseanne Weiss from the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad. On behalf of the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad, we'd like to present this check for $1,250 to purchase one AED for the police cars here in Galloway Township. That'll get us started. That is nowhere near what our goal is. Basically, what we have done is we have set up a fund for the AEDs. It's at the Galloway branch of the Cape Bank, which is located right here next to the police station. People from the public or businesses can come in and make a donation to the Galloway Police AED Fund in care of the Galloway Township Ambulance Squad. They can mail the donations directly into P.O. Box 784 in Sulieman, New Jersey, 08240. It is extremely important, as I'm sure Maureen would attest to, that we have these AEDs on the street. I believe you would like to say something further?
Well, I had a big spiel here. Mom got knocked out. And the reason for it is with my sister Maureen said she don't remember anything that happened. So, I mean, as far as what happened, On that day, it was March 10th, Saturday, was St. Patrick's Day Parade Day in Atlantic City. And it's a very special day for our family, and especially a special day for my sister Maureen, because it was also the day she met her husband. And matter of fact, she loved it so much that they even named her boat Parade Day. So after doing an Irish jig with her twin sister Maureen, and making a toast for my parents celebrating our 50 years of being with our family business, around 7:30 p.m., my sister Maureen had succumbed to the arrhythmia, and her heart stopped. And the chances of surviving something like such as this outside of a hospital is like 8 to 10%. And even though I kid my sister that she costs us a lot of money, but I thank God it did happen at the 19th hole. Because not only through the efforts of Galloway EMTs that saved her, it was, and I want to thank the nurses and NPs that just happened to be at the bar that night, and they were able to give her the CPR and take control of the situation, because everybody else was stunned, not knowing what to do. And I'd like to especially thank, if you don't mind me mentioning names here, but Teresa Roach, Aaron Cord, Jane Hutchinson, Lori Moody Titcomb, and my wife Suzanne, for taking control of a crazy situation. Amazingly, the police responded within 3 minutes of the 911 call. And I want to thank the officers, Ken Snuffer and Carolyn Buckley, along with Corporal Henderson. Officer Snuffer had a defibrillator on hand and was able to shock my sisters and get her heart going again. And the EMTs arrived. They were able to put in a breathing tube, stabilize her, and they got her in an ambulance, took her to ACMC, and all that was within a 30-minute period from when 911 call was made. And it was really amazing. And I would also like to thank the staff of the ICU for doing such a fantastic job. It's a total team effort. And I'd just like to add, a few years ago, the Stats family started the drive to provide defibrillators for the police. And I guess it's been over 10 years. And, they were not so lucky as far as that goes, as lucky as our family. They lost a husband, father, and a good friend. But because of their efforts, my sister is alive. And we wish to continue this drive by making contribution and for asking the public support to provide such a valuable tool. Defibrillators do save lives.
We won't take any time. More time thank you very much.
Chief Chuck, listen, we, with Michael Brandenburger, who likes to sit in the background and not be recognized, but he is also part of this family up here, and his hard work and his hours that he puts into this township, what we talked about long ago at every meeting, he is definitely a backbone of Galloway Township, and between you, Chief, and Mike at the helm, I just want to thank the ambulance squad. I did get a phone call from Michael, and told me what Sergeant Picardi was doing on behalf of you guys and the ambulance squad and the police department. We did also reach out to Lanacare, one of our neighboring communities. They are going to assist us with putting defibrillators into police cars in Galloway Township at no cost to Galloway Township taxpayers. So I want to thank them for that. On the other hand, too, we do have a senior building that is going to be open, and they did turn around and donate one for the senior building that will be sitting there at all times. So for seniors that will be there, luckily we do have a ambulance squad that's right down the street, but they could be out on the call at the time. But they are going to have one that's going to be there. It's going to be donated, and they will offer training assistance at no cost for anybody in Galloway Township that wants to learn how to use the defibrillator, because at any given time you could be somewhere that they're pretty self-explanatory, but as Mr. McGettigan says, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you lose your train of thought. So they are going to offer training to us on top of that. So I want to thank the McGettigan family, which again I want to recognize his father that's out here, which was a council person. We're going to shake his hand. Mr. McGettigan served up on this council just like we do. He's done a great job in his community. His family's got long roots here in Galloway Township. And again, I want to thank the McGettigan family. I'm sorry we meet by this occasion, but we are going to meet by the static pass, and we will go forward and keep them in the police cars as a value to the residents of Galloway Township. Thank you again.
Thank you very much.
This is the kind of stuff we like going on in Galloway Township. Okay. I'm going to go down to committee reports. Do we have anybody from any committees that like to give a brief summary of anything going on in their committees?
Just the Go Green Galloway Committee. We met last week, discussed...
So do recess there.
Hey, do you want to recess real quick? Discussed them coming to council with a resolution or draft resolution for a fair trade town, and to present the idea to council and educate us on what fair trade is. Spoke a little bit about the bike park, caught them up on what's going on with that, and we also discussed the community garden, which this weekend I drove by when I was out on the bike ride. My daughter and the Boy Scouts are out there putting a rain garden in a raised trellis. So a lot of stuff going on with them. They're still, keeping us green.
Good. Good, thank you. Any other committees that want to report on anything going on?
I've read a public safety, but I don't know if there's really a lot to report on. The chief gave some stats on the past couple of years on calls and so forth that to the press, so that may be reported on. Everything's good. The police are doing a great job responding to more calls, being more proactive. So a lot of the stats are down, surprisingly, and that's just because our police are being so proactive and stops and getting things done, and bike patrols and all the patrols and so forth, and making sure crime is not escalating, it's actually staying stable and gone down in some instances. So great, it's all good.
Great. Anybody else have anything in committees?
Actually, Mayor, I do. We spoke a little bit earlier, and it's something that you brought up when you were talking to Kevin about the unsung heroes of Galloway Township. Dick Price had brought that up a while ago, and we did start something called the Mayor's Award, a while back. But I think it's important that we do recognize some of our, residents in the community who do go above and beyond to help out, and they're not necessarily the employees, but they're just people who really work hard and they're selfless in what they do, and they really want to make sure Galloway is a great place to live. And I think that would be a great thing for us to do as far as recognizing someone. And I commend Dick Price for coming up with that idea, because I really think it's a great idea. So maybe we could put together a committee of maybe 3 of us, and just have some requirements, and recommend some people, and we could vote on it, and then recognize someone once a month.
I think Councilwoman Ullman, I think that's a great idea. I think that with all the things that go on, if you had a committee that could meet once a month, once every other month, to have the names and bring it to council during our committee reports, and if you want, you could chair it. I'll put you on the chair of it.
Okay.
Put Councilman Terrell on it and Councilman Kleiner. Okay, so that's what we're going to do. Mr. Liston, we're going to have a committee of, Councilwoman Ullman is going to chair it, and Councilman Terrell and Councilman Kleiner will be on it. And Mrs. Ullman, what are we calling it?
Well, we could come up with some names. I mean, we originally had the Unsung Heroes, but maybe we could do something like Galloway's Leaders or Galloway, a big Above and Beyond Award, something along those lines.
You want to think about it and get back to
I do want to think about it, and also we do have to have some of the public help us to recognize these people because we don't know everyone, so there has to be a way to do that. If anybody wants to email me, some suggestions of people who you think should receive the award. Also, we have a new Facebook page now. Maybe we could do some sort of contest on Facebook and have people, recommend people and tell us why they think someone should, is deserving of receiving the award. So,
what is the Facebook page?
It's facebook.com/GallowayTWP.
Yeah, put a link to
that
page. Yeah.
But I'm just saying, so we could say for the public, Galloway Township does have a Facebook page now, so we could have up-and-coming events. Our meetings will be broadcasted on Facebook, because a lot of viewers do look at Facebook. One of our meetings will be, we'd like to be posting the agenda on Facebook, since it's a free media outlet for us to use. So I do want to thank the township manager, and you got help too on that, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. Mike Hill from...
Mike Sulieman?
Yes, Mark Hill from Sulieman's office.
Can you turn around, how about we use possibly the same committee that we just put together to help with uploads if you need from council?
I would love that.
Okay, what do you think, Whitney? You're pretty good with that stuff.
You think I know about Facebook? I'm just kidding. Of course, I'll help.
Okay, so
Twitter, we're putting out messages on Twitter too, so
you talk to tomorrow, you do
the whole process you get into it, but
I don't know anything about tweeting, but I mean, more than happen to not put the Facebook.
All right, so at least we'll have some council input. Obviously, you're going to have your township employees take care of it, but different things that come on, if certain council can have access to throw...
It's called Galloway Township, New Jersey.
Galloway Township, New Jersey. That's as clean as it comes. Galloway Township, New Jersey.
Is it TWP or Township?
Galloway NJ.
Okay.
And this right here, we can keep the public more informed of the events that are going on, and also what's going on in the political realm with council meetings and zoning board, planning board, and so on.
Can I bring up one other thing I think would be important for Galloway as well? We were talking about doing some sort of video project. I just want to tell everyone that I'm willing to work on doing a video to showcase Galloway and Galloway's businesses and some of the landmarks that are here. We just need help with videotaping it. So if someone has a suggestion of, someone that they know that's a professional, or maybe someone from Stockton could...
Actually, Tiffany, I talked to Galloway Township Business Association, and I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
I got and they have a person that is well versed in video and editing.
Yes.
Is willing to help us with that, so we just need to reach out to them.
Yeah, I did attend the last Galloway Business Association meeting, and he was there. We did have a conversation. I know his plate is very full right now, so if we did have a second choice, just in case, that would be amazing.
I saw some of his work, though. It's excellent, so I think it's...
Yeah, all right.
That's great. Got
Community set,
I have an update from the Office of the Planner concerning the West Pike Economic Development Area. And the Planner's office is in the process of completing a study that would designate the next phase of the White Horse Pike as an area in need of rehabilitation. And it's the intention of the Rainbows Committee to offer additional incentives to spur development and provide incentives for existing businesses that are struggling to remain competitive in this economic climate. The township needs to review the rest of the properties in the White Horse Pike corridor to determine if they meet the criteria under the New Jersey Local Housing and Redevelopment Law. And 10 phases have been identified for review and designation and may be completed separately as a group or as a whole based upon the needs and qualifications of each area. I'm hopeful that we can review the study and make determination on phase 4, which is the Pomona West designation. I have in a memo here, I have the outlines of which is which, and I've distributed to everybody here, I believe. The Planner's Office will evaluate additional phases for designation as part of the ongoing process and continue to present findings to the Planning Board and governing body for approval over the next several months. So I'm making progress on that front, Mr. Mayor. Hopefully we'll see some action there. And I just want to touch real quickly on the part of the Go Green Galloway subcommittee, which is the Trails program. And I know recently I got reached out by one of the citizens who had some concerns about it and wants to be notified. So I'm asking Arch that when you're having new developments in your talks with the county, and when anything's ready to be presented, that I'd like to call a public meeting, a town hall style meeting, if we will, to include some of the public and hear out their recommendations, because as you know, and as Dennis knows and some other people on the committee, the plan's been revised several times over the course of the last year, based upon input and feedback that we've got from different groups and residents and fitness groups and advocates of the program, and some people that weren't totally in favor of it until some changes were made to where it was acceptable for them. So I just want to make sure that we notify the public of that. I had a citizen call me who was concerned about not being notified last week when they saw some comments come out in the paper, but that happened in executive session, so it was really not appropriate to really notify the public.
We're not ready to notify yet. We're still on the limbo zone.
So essentially what we're trying to do is get see what the county will commit to, and then we'll come up with a plan and present that, and then we may amend that plan, we may not.
The plan is being prepared right now. One of the things we have to do in the process is make an application to the county for the open space funds. That should be completed, I'm thinking, within a week or so. The contracts for the lease have actually gone back and forth between Mr. Plee and the county attorney's office, solicitor's office. So everything is in process. One of the things the county is going to have to do is they're going to have to forward some application or some communication up to Green Acres to make sure that it's an acceptable use and they can transfer the lease to us. That's just a minor legal plan. The Green Acres is going to have an issue with it, I believe. So everything's moving along. At the next meeting, what we'll do is give you an update, but also we'll try to establish some dates for some public meetings on this, make determination when you want to have them, where you want to have them, and then we'll prepare for them from the planning and make sure that we have some maps.
Just for the public's edification, did you, Arch, I know you've had some experience with open space and designations and whatnot. So just when I think that people hear the word open space and they think if it's a piece of land, it's a wooded lot, then it's going to stay wooded and nothing can ever happen there. And that's not necessarily what open space is. Open space, of course, cannot be a Wawa, right?
No.
But can it be a baseball field?
Well, there's different, depending how you get the funding and how you designate it and use. But much of the decision is left at the local level. You obviously can't do commercial development, you can't do residential. And once you designate it as open space in the Green Acres program, it's there forever.
Right.
But you could designate it for recreation.
The two soccer fields at Gabriel Field, Green Acres not part of Gabriel Field.
Most of all the sports fields that we have in the township are open space.
Right, and the best part about it for the people who live around it is a recreational use in some form, and it can be passive. This is more of a passive program than an active program, which I think this would fall under because it's walking trails, biking trails. This is not for motorcycles or anything like that. It's more for people just to go out and enjoy and take a walk, or if they want to ride their bikes, ride their bikes. There'll be a parking area down there we're looking at, so people come in. This also ties in Seaview, and people visiting the community. If you want to take a walk, you can take a nice walk through the woods. So it ties them up. But then once it's there forever, and the use is going to be allowed. One of the local officials determine it can be used for within the scope of the program.
Great.
And just so the residents know too, we were not anticipating any revenue for the budgetary years ahead to maintenance this facility. This facility will hopefully be maintained by Green Acres money and also maintained by volunteers that use the organizations that come down and use the facility.
Receives federal funding and tools and equipment.
So it's not like the actual fields we have in the soccer field.
No grants at point.
Right, there's no grants. It's all
there is an impact in the sense that we do have to insure it.
Right.
And then any impact from that, if we do have any.
I spoke with, I think months ago, we spoke with Dennis, and he said basically it's an umbrella that covers it.
Well, it's under our program. Anything on more property, more recreational issue, you do have a risk management issue, that you may have some potential issue. Again, it's you can't say there's no cost because there's potentially a cost with that.
If I could do just something. Question from Councilman Coppola. The township has been aggressive when it comes to open space. We also, years ago, have actually banked some properties in the Pioneer section. that is what you're referring to as open space. It's there, it is deed restricted, there are just woods there, and at that point, kind of shows you the way things go in the economy. At that point, we were in a tremendous growth spurt, and the idea was there was tremendous impact in the Pinehurst area with continued building out of homes, residential homes. So we utilized Green Acres money at that time. I know, Councilman Bashford was on and we just purchased, I forget how many lots, quite a few, to deed restrict them so you couldn't build them. So it's kind of a program has components of passive recreation, as Mr. Liston said, we're going to look for this project, more active recreation in the Galloway fields, the soccer fields, and then also just deed restricted for open space. Thank you.
Thank you, Michael. That being said, do we have anything else in the committee reports, or do you want to move? Good. Hearing none? Thank you. Go down to 10.
Mr. Mayor, on number 10, I know in the committee we had some questions regarding this, and this ties into the licensing issue that was also brought up. What I'd like to do is withdraw this for this evening. I think it'd be a good idea to have the planner here, since this is dealing with the master plan, and potentially there'll be some procedure things we're going to have to do if it does amend the land use. So I think we feel June 12th we can hold this. And I think have a little bit of a work session with council, because I think there's a lot of questions regarding the home business and the whole concept. And so I just request we withdraw this evening.
If you could also, Arch, if you could turn around and have maybe her put a summary together and email it to council.
Okay.
So we can try to follow where it's going before we come down to the workshop. So we know what's going on before we get to the workshop. Everybody's good with that?
Yes.
Do you have resolutions? 152-12. Payment of bills. Anybody from the public? Payment of the bills.
Okay. I was peculiar. Curiosity. We have on page 8. It seems like we have an annual maintenance contract, an agreement, and we go into maintenance for a switch. New World Systems?
Yes, that's the police computer system.
Okay. And then Worker Track, what was that?
Worker Track is fingerprint system.
Okay. Page 12, for the new
Yes.
four-wheel drive?
Yes.
Okay, good.
That's just the more driving of the mark.
Yeah, what's the name?
Is this the one from last year's budget? The Kubota?
Is that the one from Cherry Hill?
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, it's not a capital program.
It's Kubota that they use for doing retention ponds and what have you. It goes on the angles. I questioned that when we had brought it. It was regards to, it's the one that does the inclines and stuff like that. The one that we had, I believe, was a model year 1992, if I remember right, and the life expectancy was over with it. So if that's the one that we are referring to.
I know we have more and more retention ponds around it now.
There's more and more tractors too, you know.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have anybody else from the public with payment of bills? Hearing none.
Motion we pay the bills?
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Basford?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes. 153-12.
153-12 is to authorize council to go into closed session. Mr. Please.
Yes. One issue falls under the litigation exception to the Open Public Meetings Act, specifically Tilton versus Galloway Township, L-3331-12. Those means can be disseminated after all appeals are exhausted or if a final settlement is ever reached at all. Closing documents are executed.
No action, right?
No formal action will be taken coming out of the meeting tonight regarding that issue. I would anticipate the length will be approximately a half hour, if that.
Motion to go in closed session?
Second.
Roll call.
Hold on just a second. Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Resolution 156-12, confirm details of sale of general obligation bond series 2012.
This is in regards to the bonds that we're going to refinance for a lower interest rate, which will save the township money. We did put this up forward, waiting for the window for the rate to be low enough for us to be able to execute it. Questions or comments?
Move.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
157-12, authorizes a person-to-person transfer of primary retail consumption license. This is for the Blue Heron Golf Club.
Questions or comments? Hearing none?
Move it. Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Corman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Abstain.
I'm sorry?
Abstain.
Abstain. Okay, very good, thank you. Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
158, authorize the renewal of proprietary software maintenance and support agreement. I believe this is with Edmunds.
It's a computer system that the township uses for everything.
Move it.
Second.
Roll call.
Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
162-12, endorsement of hazardous mitigation grant agreement with New Jersey EMS.
One out of order.
Arch, please.
I got this one, mitigation.
Yeah, I'm just looking at the fact sheet.
I think we went over some the review meeting, but it's fine.
Oh, yeah, this is the, yes, it's Mono Grant. This is a matching grant. We're receiving 75% of the grant from the federal government for $165,000, and the total project is going to be $220,000, and we're going to have, we're actually going to have to match this at $55,000. We're looking for a mechanism now for the match.
This is the property that is in the Pomona Oaks area that is nestled back in the back that nobody can see, but when it rains really, really hard, you see that the Pomona Oaks section is a lot of times underwater. So this is a grant that we have to do with that. Questions or comments?
Move.
Second. Roll call.
Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Gorman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman?
Yes.
Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Consent agenda. Consent agenda includes items of business which are not controversial and do not require individual discussion. A motion approving the consent agenda is moved, seconded, and voted upon as one item by the Township Council. If any discussion is requested on a consent agenda item, it is moved from the consent agenda to the regular agenda. Resolution 154-12 is honor Absegami High School Outstanding Citizen. 155-12, honor Galloway Township Middle School Outstanding Citizen. 159-12, authorize the reimbursement under the Condo Act to Woods at Great Creek. 160-12, authorize the township to enter into a service contract with various condo associations. 161-12, refund taxes and sewer due to overpayments. 163-12, authorize cancellation of taxes under Disabled Veterans Act. 164-12, appoint Arch List in the position of acting deputy township clerk. And New Jersey State Firemen's Association membership application for Hall and a New Jersey State Firemen's Association application for Ford.
Mr. Manager, 154 and 155 with the schools, the citizens, didn't have paperwork on that. Is that in general we do that, or is it actually a person that we're recognizing?
I think the children who present a bond that they're
At the dinner?
Awards dinner for all the awards at House and Galloway.
Okay, I didn't know if it was...
I think I've gone to it many years now, I would imagine this is what it said, yeah.
We were, you know, this is like, may I have the envelope, please? Diane said, please pass the resolution. She has the name. She will insert it, but they don't want the two students who are getting the awards to know it ahead of time. So that's that.
Well, I got citizen here, so maybe if it was student, I would understand. It says citizens. I know they're citizens, but it was never clear up. Okay, thank you.
But anyway, so that's why, because the school asked us not to say who they were at
Understandable, thank you.
I think that'll be nice after we find out who.
Yeah, we'll bring them up.
Bring them up or announce it.
Maybe invite them to the next public meeting.
Councilwoman Rowan can handle that during your committee. For the public, just so they know, is the 164-12 appointing Arch Liston to the position of acting clerk. The clerk will be out on vacation, and there's some business that's going to have to be conducted during that particular time. So we are doing that to make sure everything's done correct for the public.
With no additional compensation.
No, he's paying us for it.
Just to run the election.
Okay, just to run the election. I knew that. But.
Well, we should probably tell the public. The reason is I have my family multi-generational vacation plan before I accepted this job, and you were gracious enough to let me go.
Yes.
So that's why Arch is covering.
So TC is paying Arch. So that being said,
Motion to move the consent agenda?
Second.
roll call.
Mr. Bassford?
Yes.
Mr. Corman?
Yes.
Mr. Kleiner?
Yes.
Mr. Coppola?
Yes.
Ms. Ullman? Yes. Mr. Terrell?
Yes.
Mr. Purdy?
Yes.
Mr. Liston, the major thing I have is the senior center. We've run into some just a couple delays with the getting the parking lot done. One of the initial contractors wasn't meeting our timeline. We had to go secondary contractor. We've had a bit of a green spell here. They've actually graded the parking lot out in the rear. That's basically ready to go. They're installing some doors today. Some of our people are down there operating and they're servicing some of the seniors. We're not fully operational because some of the doors aren't done. There's also a couple different design things that we've got to, or things that I think were left out. So we're probably looking to be fully operational first week in June. We kind of like to have a ribbon cutting. We're kind of shooting for Saturday the 9th. Does that ever work for everyone?
What time?
What time?
I'm going to make it a
Council tell me what time they like.
10 o'clock?
You can do a 10 o'clock ribbon cutting as long as, and I'll give you that, if there's any problems, I'll make sure, because we have another council meeting before that. So what I'll do is, if we run any problems, I'll advise all council about that, but we're shooting for the 9th, if that works.
Okay, 10 a.m. 10 a.m.
10 a.m. on the 9th.
Get me up early.
I mean, I'm flexible if you have other, any conflicts out here.
Arch, are we going to be serving meals that day? Are we anticipating it?
Now, the meals will be served part of the county program, which will be on a schedule that the county will put out, and there'll be also the Galloway residents will be notified of that. That will be the county run.
So I don't need to bring my report or anything?
You're down.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is that all?
Just the other thing just update council. We had a meeting with the county. I just wanted to bring it up with the mayor. And the last Monday, regarding the Parkway exit, I just wanted to brief council briefly that we had some discussions about some alternatives to assist some development along the Beach Road. Don, remember kind of where we left it at? Or, I mean,
what we left it at basically was there were some plans that were brought forward. Councilwoman Ullman went to the meeting with myself and Mr. Liston regarding the interchange on the exit 41. There is a property owner that adjoins a piece of property that is on paper streets back there. That's a large parcel, almost 50 acres that they were looking to develop. That they were concerned about the way that the on and off ramps were going to adjoin their property because it was going to connect to one of the paper streets. It seems like the county is on board with the Turnpike Authority, saying that basically this is the plan that they believe will work with the safety and travel and interchange the way they have it designed now. So I think we're going to have to stick with the county on this one. I think that there is development opportunities that's available on this back paper street, and forgive me because I do not remember the name of the paper street, but I will tell you it's parallel to Jimmy Leeds Road, and it goes from the Garden State Parkway to Wrangleboro Road, and there is a lot of future development that could go on in there and give access possibly to the schools and give access to relief to some of the properties on Wrangleboro and the adjoining community in that area. That being said, we are going to see about having it conjoined with a meeting with the Turnpike Authority in Galloway Township, like we had talked about 2 meetings ago. And I think that we're ready to move forward. The county is definitely on board with the process. We had discussed working together with the junction with Stockton College about the Jimmy Leeds Road corridor, about that, I mean, Tom, you know, about making that a wider corridor for the last probably 10 years, maybe probably more than that, right? So we did meet with the county engineer about that, about the plans for that. It's still on their books for making that whole corridor wider, and that would be from approximately the Deer Street intersection or Duerer, whatever part of Galloway you're from, to the Garden State Parkway as a phase. The other phase will continue down towards the municipal complex. So we are going to reach out to Stockton College because they're an adjoining property owner that goes down Jimmy Leeds Road regarding help with the Pinelands applications to make that happen, because obviously we can't make that happen without the Pinelands. So that is one of the highlights. That meeting wasn't meant for that, but it kind of moved into that. They did tell us where the traffic lights locations are now in Galloway Township and where the future traffic lights are going to be located at various intersections. We did talk about the intersection of Pitney Road and Moss Mill Road. That has been definitely a problem for some time. Supposed to have a crosswalk across there and a permanent traffic light, and basically it was a temporary thing that ended up going full-time, right, Tom?
Yep. I got that one problem, I think that Penn's Wood, maybe that's what we're referring to, the paper street. I don't know if the paper street's actually called out. One
of them is Penn's Wood. Penn's Wood's the one that goes along the side of the park.
Right.
The other one is the one that goes along the side of the gas station.
Okay.
And then connects to the one that goes...
Yeah, they wanted to buy that part, but there was always been talks of plans.
Right, so there's a lot of plans that's going on with Galloway right now, with the county, with road programs and infrastructures, possibly a crosswalk on Jimmy Leeds Road around the Ash Avenue area. We're looking at that also with the widening of Jimmy Leeds Road. So there's a lot of things going on. We'll keep the township aware of what's going on. Also, when we do have the public meetings, that the public will be able to be notified and attend the meetings with all your concerns and ideas at the time. But nothing, as we talked about, is in stone.
You know, Mayor, that property that we spoke of, we attended a few meetings. And I just wish, if they do come up with a plan, that the county will back us, because there was a couple simple...
The county is definitely on board with the road project. Where it comes down to is, A, who's paying for it? They're not paying for it. We're not paying for it. They're going to look at grant money. They're going to help us and assist in grant money for, I forget the grant fund they were talking about, Arch.
It's DOT funding there.
Right, I think if that corridor, I think that it would be great for Galloway Township.
I do too, and it would give us another emergency route out of the school system.
We did look at that, and I think there might be some grant money with that. So we were kind of talking a little out of school yet, because we talked to the school.
Well, it's been talked about since the schools have been there, that there was going to be an emergency route there.
Right, okay, well, I'm sorry, I didn't know that. Okay, well,
and, you know, basically to have all the schools in one place, that's, you know, one way and one out, and we need to have that at some point.
I think that it's a good program. The county is supporting the program. They think it's a great idea. The engineer liked the idea. They've worked on the back to get the Turnpike Authority to move the exit. So
the one meeting we even said that not even to move the exit, but to be able to have a separate...
We talked about that. That was, well, shot down right away.
Well, I don't want to lose that area. and locked off because you won't be able to catch too many leaks.
I think that because there's a lot of talks. It was a very, very good meeting. And we did talk about the 44 interchange also, which we are going to have some displays here at Town Hall that's going to show the interchange so the public at any time when they come through. We are going to post it. Matter of fact, Watch, why don't you see if we can post a link to that on the Facebook page and also onto the website so people can actually see it, because it's very confusing when people are talking about this interchange. Seeing it is a whole different aspect of actually us explaining it. So maybe we could, I know they do have smaller ones, we have big poster sizes of it, because this is going to be a big project at Galloway Township, and it's going to bring some construction jobs down here, but it's also going to bring traffic. But at the end of the day, it's going to make Galloway Township a better place, a safer place, and more accessible for the highways. So, that being said, for that short little meeting, that's what happened.
Okay, yeah. I think the explanation is longer than the meeting.
Thank you, Archie.
The only other thing that I have is one of the things that we are looking at from the exit interview from the auditor was that we have a bunch of old bond ordinances that have just been out there since the mid-90s, and we need to really go in, and next month we're going to go in with the auditor and the CFO and potentially bond counsel, and looking at closing a lot of stuff out. So when we start coming into the summer with a lot of good, cancellation of this and cancellation of that, basically what we're doing is we're cleaning up our books, and we're going to make sure that we might combine some ordinances if we have to, if there's some funding that may have to be shifted around, and some may have been overspent a little bit, and some were not funded at all. So there is going to be a lot of that stuff coming across.
So the potential to improve our bond rating?
Yeah, I think it does. Well, we have a pretty good bond rating now.
I know.
Keep much better, unless you do the federal government, there's a tough time. But it cleans up, it shows the fact that we're taking care of our books, and we're not going to have, I think we've got $8.5 million right now unfunded in our, unfunded, committed. So I think we just clean that up and make it, we don't have any issues out there.
Okay, great. Okay, that's being said. Councilman Ullman.
Yeah, Mayor, I have a few things tonight. I just want to thank the police, fire, emergency responders. It's Public Works Week also, and we can help them with this Memorial Day weekend by trying to be safe, so we don't have to have them responding all weekend to stupid calls. For people being stupid, I guess I should say. But and also the memorial service will be at Germania Field. Please come out and support our cemetery. I think it's cemetery here, right? 10 a.m. And also I spoke about last week with the utility. I have a couple copies of a resolution that's bipartisan. William Caterson actually drafted one from Epsecan, and I'd like to give it to the manager so maybe all council can look at it and we can possibly have it on the agenda for a future meeting. And also, one of the residents asked me that with the LPGA coming to town, if possibly we could have a sign saying, Galloway Township supports, welcomes you or whatever. They put their signs up and, let them know that, we're part of it too.
It's a good idea.
That's all, Mayor.
And make the date so we can change it for your year.
Slide it.
I don't have nothing but except for everybody that's good at LPJ. It should be a busy weekend, Memorial Day weekend. It's a good date this year, so it should be a lot of people in town. It should go real well. In the past year or two, when it wasn't really summer yet, but now it's officially the summer, so it should be a nice weekend.
Okay.
Just congratulations to all the EMS fire first responders tonight. I had my episode, which seemed like a half hour, which actually was more like 5 minutes that were to get me. They are true professionals. I had an opportunity to drive through the parking issue of Warren Rogers and Reeds Road School there. It's bad. It's bad. Cars on lawns, bumper to bumper. It looks like it looks like an alien film. There's a couple of abandoned properties here. They're parking all over that one abandoned property. We're going to try to. One of the things we're trying to tackle from a zoning standpoint with the one abandoned is kind of. It is abandoned, so I don't know if we can get some assistance here. And the chief has been out there numerous times.
And I'm going to bring that back to council, and I'd like to do it on the 12th, where I'm going to send a letter out to all the people on that cul-de-sac and see if they want to respond and talk about it. I know the one gentleman is very disturbed about it.
If I lived there, I'd be disturbed. I mean, it was a Wednesday. I mean, like to squeeze out of your driveway. I mean, it's
probably 40, 50 cars.
It was horrible. Yeah,
and it's not just that development, it's also the one that's done by Ullman Rogers and the middle school, that horseshoe neighborhood there. The neighbors are telling me they're running over their shrubs, they're breaking their irrigation. It's
one of the things that I think we talked about and we kind of bring back is we look at resident parking on school days. You know, we designate that, which we can do. Also, from a visitor standpoint, other systems I've had in other towns is if people are going to have visitors during the day, they can come in and get a visitor pass for a day or 2 hours we're working through, and then there won't be.
Yeah, I have friends that live in condo associations on the shore, and they have 3 or 4 visitors passes, so we can park in their lot.
Right, you get help to the residents, and we can do something to that. Yeah. Especially if it's not a large area, or if there's other areas around the high school, not uncommon, you know, resident parking and some visitors pass.
Well, maybe our committee, our education committee, could get on board with the school system and see if we could enforce it. We brought up at the last meeting, I think it was Councilman Gorman that they brought up maybe about the
chief has addressed that. I mean, the chief and the police department's been very good about looking at all the angles on this.
About them using, I'm saying that actually using the schools to use the parking lot what it was intended to be is.
I mean, utilize the school parking lot instead of having the...
Absolutely. The kids are going to park there anyway.
The students aren't supposed to drive in. I think that's part of the rule.
Yeah, but a lot of other communities, the schools are driving in and they're parking. So, I mean, kids are kids. You're not going to beat the system. I mean, it's...
You know, if I can help and go with you to address that there, you know, it seems to me like the rule is not having its intended effect. They're driving anyways.
Have the school actually responsible for the way the kids get to school.
They might even be responsible for the kids parking off campus and getting an accident too, off the school property. I mean, there's a lot of liability there either way. And I'm on the school board, and I'm not going to say how to act and all that stuff, but you know, I don't have an answer for this without making ordinances that affects the whole township.
This time of that time.
Like a 3-hour parking limit.
Yep.
3-hour parking. You got to be in school for 7 hours. So.
Yep. We got to do something about the residents there.
We got time. I mean, you're not going to fix it. But let's see. I mean, I know the chief, you're working on it with your staff, and I know the township manager's working on it. Let's get with the schools. You know, I'm sure that they want to solve this problem just as well as we do. This problem's been around since the school was there. So, I mean, I went to school there myself.
Where'd you park?
Across the street.
And speaking of parking, I had a call from, I guess she's part of whatever Four Seasons committee's out there. Her name's Phyllis Court. There's Oxford Pond off of Moss Mill Road. She'd like you to call her Arch. There's people parking alongside that stretch of Moss Mill Road. You know, I don't know utilizing the pond, but they've caught people in lewd acts out there, and it's upsetting to them, to say the least. So,
just give me the number.
Yeah, Oxford Pond, but they're parking on Moss Mill to get to it.
Okay.
So, and you can see, you want to give your number afterwards? Yeah. And they'd like to have that addressed if there is anything that we can do for them.
Okay.
That's all I have.
Councilman Terrell.
Just to, you know, wish everybody a happy Memorial Day, and remember to think about those individuals that served this country on that day, and the sacrifices that they made, both personally and with their families as well. Thank you to the emergency medical staff in the community as well, but in my house as well. And I can personally say they do a wonderful job in this community, so thank you.
I just wanted to also thank the police, the fire, and the emergency, and also just to wish everybody a safe and happy Memorial Day, a safe Memorial Day weekend.
Happy Mayor.
Just a couple quick things. Just again to echo my fellow council members here. A safe holiday weekend, of course. Don't drink and drive. Memorial Day ceremony at Germania Cemetery, 10 a.m. That's a nice event. They do several wreath placings and 21 gun salute, which scared my kids. They weren't ready for that. I want to comment quickly on the AED drive that they're doing to replace all the AED units. I think these units were replaced were put in the cars about 10 years ago, and they have about a 10-year life expectancy, and they're replacing all of them. You heard some stories tonight, and I've seen it firsthand out in Smithville when incidents happen, and these guys roll up, and the cops are always the first ones there. And if they have these devices in their car, they're saving lives. And we have a couple of them. We have one at each restaurant. A good majority of our staff's been trained on how to use them, and thank God we haven't had to use them yet. I hope we never do, but they're there. And I think that for a person, $1,200 is a lot of money, but for a business, $1,200 isn't a lot of money. So I think that it's maybe a week's worth of advertising or something. So I encourage all businesses to make a contribution to the fund. And you never know, the life you save may be your own. And I just want to congratulate all the EMTs and first responders. I've had an opportunity firsthand to watch these guys work before, and a lot of them are young. They seem like young kids, but you know what? When the pressure's on, they're true professionals, and they're out there saving lives. And like I said before, these guys are the heroes out there making it happen. So have a safe holiday weekend.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Again, I want to thank you for your contribution. You just said you have one in each one of your restaurants, and you're still donating one to the ambulance squad. And I want to thank you for that. I mean, I know you didn't want to say anything about it, but I want to thank you. I want to thank the ambulance squad for their donation. I want to thank the McGettigans. I want to thank Atlantic Care. And I want to thank anybody else that's going to come forward. I don't care if it's $10 or it's $5, anything that they could give. We are going to be reaching out to the business community, and to have one at the senior building is going to be great. It's one of these things. Michael Brandenburger, again, I can remember back in the 80s, late 80s, I was getting out of high school. Mike Brandenburger was part of the ambulance squad. Think about what you were doing in '89. This guy was part of the ambulance squad. He's still dedicated. He still puts the time in. I mean, this is, he's got a good chief of the EMS. They got a great company. The Galloway Township Ambulance Company is a great company. They're respected all through the area, and they know how to conduct business. I mean, just look at it. We had the bus accident. Somebody up there was there. That could have been a lot worse than what it was. So I call it was a dry run, because that accident could have been a very, very nasty scene. I was there firsthand. The way they conducted themselves with the local firefighters. The firefighters were there. They were there, from picking up stretchers to cleaning the scene, to helping the students, to helping the teachers, the parents, the police department. I even seen some police officers that were off duty that were driving by that stopped people from the prosecutor's office. I mean, that's what it's all about in neighboring communities. And I want to, we can't talk enough about them. Check your batteries and your fire detectors. Let's keep saying that. Monday, again, Memorial Day. Please remember what the holiday's about, like what was said up here. The people that serve the country, the people who are serving the country right now, that it's going to be their holiday also. 10 o'clock, Vienna Avenue and Malsville Road is where the cemetery is located. It's a great event to bring your children, to teach them what the holiday is all about. That being said, that's all I have. I'm going to open it up to the public. Anybody in the public have anything to say, please step forward, give your name and your address.
And please write your name and address on the pad, just so you can help me, so when we do the minutes, we know who actually spoke. Thank you.
A couple things to say to me. Richard Grace Galloway. Prior to the press this week, there was a picture of Mike Schwartz's museum over here with the the girder from the train center. And the way I'm reading it, he doesn't really know where to place it. And I don't know if there's a problem with neighbors there. I really think, I'd like to make a suggestion, maybe talk to them, reach out. Patriot Lake would be a fantastic place for that. I mean, it's part of it, build it up, put it up with something and really show what it's all about. I mean, that's what Patriot Lake was supposed to be. Now we got a park over there, and he's got it. Let's see if it works somehow. Again, it's an idea. Maybe council can work a little further.
You can reach out to Whitey.
Okay?
Yes, absolutely.
I drove by there. It's a massive piece of steel. It's gigantic. I got chills just looking at it. I just stopped my car and just stared at it for a minute or two.
Secondly, every time I hear about Atlantic China, I say, why can't we do something? Why can't the city do something? And a couple weeks ago, it came to my mind, you know, FedEx or UPS, the distribution center. I mean, man, we got everything here. We got the airport right here. FedEx can put an airport in there if they want. I mean, South Jersey's getting big. I mean, not only the distribution center, but the people that will be employed there. I mean, we're talking about houses again. We're talking about laborables again. But the only way we're going to get through these people is, again, thank you, Sultan, without bringing it up, about some sort of this or something on the internet. So we could send these people. But they're not going to, they don't know we're here. I mean, these are big outfits. And even though you say, oh, they know, they're going to come to us. They're not going to come to us. We've got to send something to them. Our house is more weeks. But this is a valuable piece of property, and it's a perfect place for something like that. Even for, as we said before, we were talking about GE. We have all these windows want to go up and down the coast here. I mean, we got a railroad station right next to Lennox. What else would you do except for bring the houses in here and manufacture these things? And distribute them from there on that railroad center. I mean, it's a perfect site for GE. But again, we're trying to get to it. I'll let you guys think about that. Yeah, but it's something that's been on my mind for a long time. Why can't we do something? We've got to get to these people. Not going to get to them. They have to send something to them or talk to somebody. All right. On the way here tonight, regarding state ramp in Jenny Reed's Road, I've noticed already, we were talking a couple last section here, we said, lightweight was cited as to see new asphalt, everything brand new there. Now tonight, they got it all lined out with paint like they're ready to dig it up again. I mean, all over. I mean, is this a fact? Is this what's going to happen again?
Well, it's obviously definitely going to get dug up in the next, I would say, 14 to 15 months. It's definitely going to be dug up, Mr. Price, because of the fact being that that hole was part of the interchange. They were going to build a temporary road around to the side, in the middle of, between the two parkways, a temporary road that's going to go around. That's going to be the entrance and exit while they do plans for the state trooper barracks that's going to be planted there in the middle. So anytime you do a mark out, obviously you know you call it for utilities. No matter if you're going to, you know, shrub it, or I don't think we probably did one to put the sign up, but you should do a mark out no matter what you do. So what you saw might have been marked out. But yes, Mr. Price, that road will get tore up. That is one of the concerns that I made earlier in the time, that you guys are spending this money in the overlay, and it's going to get tore up very soon. But again, you know, the county had it in an overlay program, and they did not want to turn around and wait for the Turnpike Authority, because nothing for nothing, it could be like 4 or 5 years before they do it. They tell you it's going to be, you know, within 16, 18 months, but
it was just curious because, you know, it's such a beautiful area right now. It's all new. And all of a sudden you see all these lines going down there.
The county did a great job with that. I mean, they did it so fast, and it's a great...
It's ready to get dug up, yeah, that's why.
Well, it doesn't mean it's getting ready to get dug up. It means that they were marking out utilities. It could have been they're marking out for traffic impacts, because I told you. And yeah, they're moving. They are going to move that road. And I'm telling you that now. It's going to happen. It's going to happen before the project starts. So that is definitely going to happen.
Okay, I hit the 3 main points. The second one, the last one I was looking at, is Galloway Field and Duerer Street. You know, I'm just tired of coming up here and asking you guys, please. You know, we had a resolution done 2 years ago where it said we have signs up there. Children to play, no passing. Still nothing out there. You know, the kids jump out there and get them balls all the time. And I'm afraid you're going to see another one of those things that happen in Galloway City. God forbid, all right? Before it happens, please do something. I've been asking every time I come up here to plead with you. All we need is 2 signs up there. We finally got the road done, got a double line. Now let's get some no passing signs up there to bring the traffic down a little bit. We got too many people from Philadelphia that don't know anything. They don't know those kids are running across the street. So I ask, no passing, kids are playing. And please do something. Thank you.
Chief Mayor, I spoke to someone in the county who was supposed to put out some signs. I think the signs they put out were reputable to their now.
It's probably what they do with the road program.
Yeah, it's wall signs. The person I talked to the county advised me there were certain signs that are not approved on the county road. And he indicated that they would not be putting any signs that are not approved. And one of the things he did mention was no passing.
Well, I guess that, the double line, but I understand, you know, they should be watching the double lines, Mr. Price. I mean, if it's double lines, if you get your driver's license, that means you can't pass.
And if the township tries to put their signs up on the...
Oh, we can't do that.
They'll take them down.
Yeah.
Not approved by who?
DOT standard.
Children's play. It's going to be alternative. It's going to be...
The county would have to do that. I mean, it's not our road. If it was like, you know, for example...
I spoke to Mr. Newman in the county. He was one who advised me there are certain signs that are prohibited or they're not.
Did he say that was one of the signs, Chief?
He indicated that they would put up only the approved signs that were allowed there. And at that point, he said he actually sent an email with a date and time that he would be putting in the approved signs.
You know, I think that, you know, what we had talked about before, and Arch, you weren't around for this, is not to go back on what was said, but is it too much to put a sign up there with a flashing light on it? I mean, you got thousands of kids that are in that small stretch there that say, you know, children at play. I mean, anymore. I mean, there's some of the signs they put up in the worst areas. You drive by and say, why is there a sign here? I mean, you do have thousands of kids there.
I mean, it's going to be a funding issue for them, and when the engineers study it, they're going to look at it, and if they...
Study it.
They're going to study the flow.
Of course they are.
Of course they are. They're going to study it. And then what they're going to look at is the volume, what the volume is, and then again, how many kids are crossing the street, or how many problems there. They're going to look at the whole thing, and then they're going to make a decision. But for them, if they don't justify the flashing sign, then what they'll say is, if we want a flashing sign up there, the town can pay for it, and you know, they'll put it up to their standard.
With this county, I mean, the way our form of government works, obviously, this body has to go as a whole. Is this body okay with me going to the county executive and asking them to get this light?
We can do it through resolution.
We've done it before and they've denied us.
Well, we never did it in black and white. Right.
They were told they wouldn't do it.
They were? We were?
Put a resolution on the next agenda for...
Alright. Yeah, do it as a resolution. Let's do a resolution.
And what are we doing the resolution?
Asking for some type of child protective measures for that area when the kids are present.
Right.
Okay.
I think we did put one up 2 years ago.
We're just in a phone call.
I think it was the Sulieman was saying.
That's what I'm saying. You know,
let's look at it.
There is something written.
Yeah, we have a resolution, reiterating the resolution.
Yes.
Do some research.
All right, that being said, is there anybody else from the public that have anything for public session? They'd like to come forward to give their name and address? I'm seeing none. Motion to adjourn, go in closed session.
What is it about?